Hello, this is J.N.S, and I just want to do an impromptu video of a set song, just giving some esoteric channelings about just the current state of consciousness that I see on the planet, and just to give some channeling on like what is causing this, and then like what we can do to inevitably help shift the dimension of this planet. So obviously, you know, we all feel what's going on. We all feel this interdimensional consciousness of love and of peace and of balance raising this planet. And it's inevitable, and it's something that is ongoing. Some feel it more than others. It's affecting people more than others. And it's having different side effects. You know, some of this energy is very pressuring. Some of it is very beautiful for people. Some of it's causing people to face their inner demons. Some of it is causing people and to do this cathartic, you know, cleansing of people, places, and things. And so, you know, I just, you know, want to give like these prequel, you know, kind of like a prequel to what's happening, like what's causing this. You know, I'm just going to be frank. What you see now is the ultimate cleansing by the primordial mother on this dimension that we call Earth, this simulation, this subprime reality. And so we're calling it subprime reality because it's a simulation of an illusion that mocks the universe, that mocks the original Earth, the original way that God created this dimension, which was one for free will. It was one for people to explore. It was also a potentiator. So, well, you have this idea of contrast and of what they say duality. It was always supposed to be known that you came from a place of non-duality, though. That you came from a place of transcendence, that you was always a spirit in a human body that was charged with, to be honest, depending on your particular mission and what you wanted to do down here, charged with understanding that contrast, understanding what it's like to be physical, pretty much, understanding what it's like to be in a physical, dense matter. And to understand taxonomy, so the sense of identity as well, in catalog. And so that's why you see like these ideas of these notions of separation, the notions of light and dark, the notions of different skin colors and different languages and all of that. That was all part of the grand design of this prime reality, of the original prime reality. Also, you were to get a sense of the elements, specific elements, such as, you know, obviously earth, air, water, fire. The understanding these different types of states of consciousness and frequencies within even the animals, the dolphins, the cats, you know, because even like an octopus. And now you look at the octopus and you study the octopus and you study how intelligent they are, right? You see how intelligent octopuses are. They are interdimensional beings. That just can't be denied. Same with the cats, and you guys are going to get some. The cats are going to be given a lot of. Those of you who have cats, they're going to be given a lot of downloads about where they come from and who they are. And many of you, I'll be reading the little forums that you guys have, like on Reddit and different types of forums of people with the cat owners. Like, I'll be talking about how the cats be shape-shifting and how the cats be astral projecting in the dreams, and how you see your cat outside the window walking all around, and then you see the cat just walk up from under the bed, but you knew for a fact that was your motherfucking cat. They had the collar and everything. This is what you guys are saying. I'm not saying you guys you guys are all on the internet talking about, oh, I saw my cat shape-shifting, da-da-da. Yeah, it's going to get real. It's about to get real. It's about to get even more real. And so I say that to say, even some of these animals are interdimensional beings that decided to come here. Some of them are monitors, some of them are intelligence agents, some of them just want peace, some of them are just here to balance out the energies and the frequencies of the planet Earth. Some of them, they just chilling. You know, so you have like dolphins and whales, all types of incredible species that, in particularly humanity, was to interact with, learn from, be at peace with, and all this stuff. And so, in addition to understanding that duality and understanding what it's like to be able to shift frequencies at will through consciousness and to manifest that will, that is what humans were actually supposed to be learning down here. They were supposed to be learning how to create IPUs, which is ideal parallel universes, based on their mind, because every mind is a universe. As Tahuti would say, all is mental. That was where we wanted you guys at for now. There is a level above that, believe it or not. But for now, it was like, let's get them the intergalactic mentalism science, the stuff that you see Yeshua was teaching, the stuff that Tahuti was teaching, the stuff that the original fallen angels was supposed to be teaching you guys. We don't know what the fuck happened with that. I'm not going to explain it. We're going to get into that now. Now that's a good segue. So something happened at one point. There was a shift in clear frequency on this planet, and I'm not going to necessarily say, oh, it was the fallen angels' fault, or or we'll just go. Let me just break it down. We all know at one point in time there was advanced, quote unquote, primitive civilizations. They were supposedly so primitive, but somehow they understood how many miles the sun was away from Earth without any telescopes or satellites. They understood where Sirius B, Sirius A, Sirius C was at. They understood all these constellations. They understood where the Pleiades star cluster, how far it was away, how many light years. The Mayans understood time in 365 days in a calendar, and 60 seconds and a minute, all this shit. Same with the Africans. They knew all this esoteric shit. Then they get into quantum entanglement, quantum superpositioning, and quantum physics. They got books on this stuff. The study of electromagnetism, thousands of years old, thousands and thousands of years old, right? Mayans were doing it. The Egyptians were doing it. And then not to mention these pyramids with this precise mathematical angles and things that cannot even be replicated today. There are clear monuments that cannot be replicated in today's time with the level of precision, even with the level of technology that we have. And so, what happened? What happened? Why hasn't there been a pyramid tantamount to the Gizas since it's been built? Since that time? What, are we talking about 5,000 to 15,000 years? I know it's saying it's at 3,000. It's a bit older. They don't date that stuff right. Also, the Sphinx. Why hasn't there been anything like that since? I mean, you got cathedrals, you have skyscrapers, but they still are not mathematically precise as those pyramids. Also, the pyramids, they were electromagnetic generators. They were electric generators. They aligned with the constellations as well, and they were able to harness the energy of the universe. So what happened? Why isn't that being done anymore? Why don't you have pyramids that are connecting to the electromagnetic field of the universe to generate free energy, like Nikola Tesla was trying to do? Who stopped it? Why was it once available freely in all continents, and why is it not available freely anymore? These are questions humanity has to ask itself. Why was your level of irrigation and agricultural, so the slash burning techniques and things that you did to make sure that you didn't pollute the earth and ruin the forest? These were old primitive techniques that are advanced and work and were credible. Look at what you guys are doing now. So what happened? And I'm not blaming humanity or anything like that, because we're gonna get to what the hell happened. Something happened. Right? Clearly. And so there were two things that happened. The original entities that was on this planet, they fell in consciousness. That was obviously some of the fallen angels that consist of various interdimensional beings. You guys want to say Anunnaki, whatever. I personally don't give them all of the credence that the occult community gives them, because I see it for what they are. They may be smarter than you, but they are not smarter than the primordial mother, than the being that created them. And they certainly have fell in consciousness. You could say it was the Atlanteans, whatever. And again, that also consists of different species within the Atlantean group. It's a subgroup. And so, what the hell happened? Did the fallen angels fall in consciousness? Did they get so caught up in not non-duality? Did they get so caught up in duality that they veered so far off the spectrum on the scale of polarity? That they fare so far on the spectrum of low governing force, which is the promotion of, say, fear or low frequency. Okay, so you have fear operates at a certain frequency, guilt, shame, addiction falls on a certain level of frequency, but then you have like love, peace operating at 600 to 500, enlightenment and awareness and non-duality operating around 800, 900, 1000 hertz. And so something clearly happened where some entity, humanity itself, as well as the interdimensional beings, they fell very low in consciousness, buying into the Maya, buying into the material realm. They got too connected to that, and it removed themselves from, or they forgot that they were originally transcendent. It came from a transcendent place to understand this taxonomy, but was never supposed to forget that they were transcendent. Never supposed to get that this was a transitory space, that they were to develop their self-awareness, that they were to have fun. You could have fun, you could totally have fun on planet Earth. You could pretty much do whatever you want, and if you that's why it always says, do the opposite of what the norm dictates, but with full awareness. But with full consciousness. That's why I always say that. And so that happened. The entities that originally was supposed to come here to teach humanity, who got obsessed with control, power, addiction to pleasure, and the guilt and shame of the things that they've done, it considerably lowered their vibration. And they taught humans to be deceptive, these fallen angels, these interdimensional beings, to be deceptive. They got pleasure out of seeing humans kind of do stupid shit to one another and do stupid. They thought it was funny. It was kind of like playing a video game. When you play a video game, Auto Grand Theft, and what's it? And you got them in a video game killing each other, smacking each other upside the head. The video games. Come on, it's the same thing. These interdimensional beings that reign supreme over you guys and playing a video game, and and they thought it was funny to see you guys smacking up each other upside the head, wars, all types of stuff, and they kept it a secret. They started the very powerful societies and took the information that they took from our dimension, from me. Let me speak in code. I have to speak in code. I still have to remember I'm on this planet. They stole some information from, and they were given clearance to give some information, particularly the intergalactic mentalism that they were supposed to be teaching humans. They were given clearance on that. They were given clearance to teach about certain things, but they also took liberty and took some other stuff, particularly from the ancient symbols from a particular order that is interdimensional, that is highly advanced. That was for like the divine feminine. They took that information and came down here, hid some of it, botched it up, reversed some of it to see how they can reverse the laws of electromagnetism, so that to see if they can switch the energy current from the divine feminine to the divine masculine. And so these beings were experimenting with this stuff. They were experimenting with the laws of electromagnetism to see how they could generate a specific energy of chaos intelligence, dark energy, from reversing things on it, reversing pretty much everything that was on our dimension. They wanted to see if they could reverse it, get the same results. For the most part, some of it they were able to derive energy from. They were able to derive energy from reversing some of it. However, in doing that, it dropped them further and further away in consciousness. Maybe they knew this, and maybe they were okay with that, because it was like, okay, we still have power. We have ultimate power. We still have power over the humans. We still have power over Earth. So we don't care if it's dropping us considerably from leaving the ice, the stratosphere, the iosphere, or the planet itself. They didn't care. They couldn't escape. And so, I guess, and from their perspective, I'm just speaking. I'm just. We're doing investigation. Like, we're kind of like trying to figure out like what the hell happened down here. And so they figured, well, we can't leave anyway, so we are concerned with always maintaining that power at the highest levels in this particular dimension, because they couldn't leave anyways. And so if they got addicted to certain things, if they experienced duality in a certain way where it lacked self-awareness, it lacked introspection, it lacked growth, and they got into more of the addictive aspects of the lower self, the pleasure aspects with no balance, deriving pleasure from fear, deriving pleasure from hate, deriving currency from generated wars and generated strife, and again, trying to mimic chaos intelligence, but they reversed it. Because the universe is based on chaos intelligence of the divine feminine, of the primordial dark mother. And so they were very close to us at one point. These were like, we were all in a dimension, and they left and got kicked out. It was like a mutual decision, like, okay, get the fuck out. Okay, you guys wanted to leave anyways, whatever. And so they wanted to mimic that power of the highest realms of that order that once was. And so they left. And the divine masculine was the head of that charge. They took some females with them. They took some female angels with them. And they came down here. What you guys call angels. But they're just interdimensional beings. With more, with incredibly more knowledge, I'll say. Not necessarily power, not necessarily love, not necessarily, but more knowledge. Not even enlightenment. Knowledge and enlightenment are two different things. But you guys also always had that potential as humans, and they were supposed to be teaching you intergalactic mentalism so that you can understand God, the Creator God within, and the Creator God externally. And so that didn't happen. It originally was happening, but then this other stuff started creeping up. The dimension got lowered. It allowed for other entities that were on fuck shit to get through as well. And so there was this infiltration. And so what also played out in the higher dimension played out on planet Earth between the breakout between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Particularly in humanity. Particularly among melanated people. Same thing happened. Wanting to reverse these laws of electromagnetism and making deals. Ultimately making deals to sell out whole bloodlines with these interdimensional fallen beings. Particularly homunculus that the fallen angels were creating. They were creating certain entities as well. Yes, they were. They have the knowledge to do that. Some of you humans have the knowledge to do that. Like let's not act like in the 1600s, 1500s, humans weren't creating homunculus and begonia. They were practicing begonia to create bees. That stuff is real. That alchemy. It's a certain form of alchemy. You create bees. It's a ritual called begonia. The homunculus, where you can create life-size species and mini species, but that was like in the 1600s. But back in the day, we're talking about like 5,000, 10,000 years ago. Oh, they was creating life-size, adult size, because this was melanated people science. So they was really with the shits. Like they was really creating life-size homunculus around this bitch. Imagine what the fallen angel, the other interdimensional beings that were sent here to guide you can do. So they were creating homunculus entities that you guys would have considered gods based on that level, but they were lower than them. And so it's creating further low governing force. So they were also kind of playing a video game too and getting off seeing humans do stupid shit, pretty much. Starting wars, doing all types of weird shit. It's a video game. It's like playing, just like how you humans play Grand Auto Theft, and you got to steal somebody's car and jack them in the video game, or, Mortal Kombat, y'all beating each other's asses and all that. These interdimensional beings, is like, to them, this dimension is like playing a video game. It is. And so, and I'm not, and trust me, my compassion is there. I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. It's not funny at all. I'm just keeping it real. Some of you already know this. Like, the Gnostic teachings teach you this. Like, the original teachings of the Bible teach you this. If you really study what Yeshua was saying in the Book of Psalms was saying, they was clearly trying to break this shit down. They were really trying to break it down. But the thing is, Yeshua was coming from the point of view of being sent here just like me to tell you guys, okay, this is what they're doing. This is what the Pharisees and the Sadducees are doing, and Rome is doing this. And look, I'm here to tell you about the kingdom of God is at hand. The kingdom of God is within. And if you have faith of the mustard seed, and you say, go here, tell that mountain, go here to yonder, and have no doubt, it will move, and everything will be impossible for you. Trying to teach you intergalactic mentalism, trying to teach you alchemy. That's what Psalms 20. This is what the whole book of Psalms is. It's a psychology book, and they personally, the interdimensional beings, they actually didn't like that shit, and they knew what dimension he was from. They knew that he was from our dimension, and that he was sent here to give that message. And they said, you see what they did to him. Same thing they trying to do to me. But it's real. It's real, and it wasn't just him, And so Tahuti came through, gave some information, and he went on to another dimension, and they are definitely afraid of him. Like, you think they got away with what they did with Yeshua, and they think they got away with that shit. Then they told all of y'all that he willingly died for y'all, gave y'all blood and eat his blood and flesh with the communion crackers and shit with the wine. It's a play. They literally getting you involved in the satanic sacrifice ritual, and you guys are just not even knowing it. You guys are just going along with it, because they mixed his teachings and Christianity in general with some very ridiculous stuff that they added in there, pretty much. Closeted Satanism. I'm just keeping a buck from the interdimensional beings that the fallen angels created, that you guys think are, that a certain group of occultists and humans think are gods. That in those particular ones that's playing this video game, they think it's funny to see you sacrificing your kids and sacrificing babies and all this shit. They think they get off on that shit. I'm just keeping it real. And this stuff, most of you guys know this stuff. Like, humanity knows this stuff. Y'all just in denial, and then you so worried about the Maya realm, paying your bills, working, gotta pay my bills, gotta pay my loans, gotta do this, and so you go distracted like a motherfucker. So you like to be in denial of this shit. But deep down, most of you guys know what I'm saying is true. Most of you guys heard of it somewhere, down the line, or you subconsciously in your prime reality, in your prime conscious know from your soul level, depending on how old you are. Some of you people are thousands of years old. You know what I'm saying is true. And so this is what happened. Trying to teach you guys this intergalactic mentalism, trying to do it for the last 2,000 years. You see what they did to John the Baptist? It's the same shit. But they weren't able to get and this started happening once they started clamoring down, because there was a point in time where you could come down here on planet Earth and freely just give out information, which Siddhartha Gautama was doing, and some of obviously what the Egyptians were doing, and so and even obviously the what they call it, the tradition, the ATRs, African traditional religions or spiritual systems. There was one point where you could come down here and just give this type of information out. And I want to explain a little bit about that too. And so pretty much what you see is the change of guard happening. You see that change of guard happening on this dimension. Because to be quite frank, it's a shift in paradigm. We're moving into a higher order. And everybody can feel it. You guys can feel it. And another thing I want to say is, you could tell something drastically went wrong in this. When you look around you, when you look at the things they want you focused on, when you listen to the music, when you listen to your media, your news, everything on the news is some fuckery. It's some war going on. It's some killing going on. It's somebody shooting up something. It's always some negativity. It's always some negative. It's always a rat race. It's always something doing. Oh, the market done collapsed. Oh, the market did that. Oh, the economy. Oh, the government shut down. It's always something, some strife. Why you can't never report nothing peaceful? Why you can't never report nothing good on the news? They call it the news, and all these news is owned by the same stations. But it's like you don't ever put nothing that's gonna be soothing out on there. Wake your ass up. It's by design, and you guys already know that. So I'm preaching to the choir, but you can really tell that something went wrong. And so what I'm telling you, because again, you have to see this astrally. You have to go beyond just what your physical eyes can see. You are a spiritual being in a human body. And so what you have to realize is that there are levels. That's why we talk about the 12 dimensions of consciousness. And you got the fourth realm, astral realm, fifth, all these different, it's real. It is real. And so what you see now is this floodgating of various other interdimensional beings from the polar opposite, floodgating this dimension, that want to promote balance, love, justice, enlightenment. And so they're here and touching down. I had just got, Osiris just came to me last night, straight up. Osiris just came, he was showing me some codes. He's like, yo, da-da-da-da-da. We touching down, but he's pretty much, he was like, I'm reprogramming a lot of this matrix. He was showing me, I'm reprogramming this matrix. He was just getting clearance, like, do you want it this way? I'm having a problem with this, da-da-da. He was like, literally, and I'm just looking at, okay, I don't know much about Osiris. I really just don't. Like, I'm like, let me go research what the hell he talking about. I gotta go see gotta look up some stuff. And so it's deep. And so I say that to say, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Don't think like, oh my gosh, I'm giving you a prequel. I'm just letting you know what happened. You ain't gotta believe it. You ain't gotta do shit with the information. I'm just giving you some context, pretty much. At least some context of like, okay, this is what happened. It was a clear fall in dissension in terms of consciousness. It was a clear dissension amongst the interdimensional beings that's here, as well as humanity, as a proxy result of what they have been teaching you and what they and what they've been keeping secret, what they've been hiding, what they've been burying, what they've been violating. Universal law, violation of universal law. You got that aspect of it. And also you have what played out between humanity. The wars between the divine masculine and the divine feminine in Africa and in the Americas. With the black man and black woman. That played out too. That also did the okie doke on y'all. Yes, I keep telling you about the overthrow of the Queen Mothership. Gosh. I keep telling you about the overthrow of the Queen Mothership. That's real. That's real. And that also considerably descended our people. Because there was no balance between electromagnetism of the divine masculine and divine feminine. And because, to be honest, some of these royal black kings sold out your bloodlines. Sold out multiple bloodlines to interdimensional beings and made pacts in exchange for material things, whether that be wealth, whether that be status, whether that be, it could have been anything. I'm just telling you what happened. Some of these things we could prove with records. Some of these things we have records for. The selling out of other tribes. Selling out other tribes, and it descended because they made pacts and deals and oaths with these interdimensional beings, right? That are, again, playing this video game and getting off on all of this low governing force, low level dimensional beings. But they still have more power than, say, the average human. And so they had to pay for those atonement. And this is how black people, quote unquote, melanated people, descended to where they are at. And why they have been for the last 500 to 1,000 years under the boot of oppression and colonization and slavery. Those at the top, if you notice, black nobility still run shit. Black nobility is still here. Black nobility, some of them are humans hybrids mixed with these interdimensional beings, by the way. Some of them are the descendants of very powerful bloodlines that and they're naturally spiritually gifted and all types of, they can do all types of shit. Black nobility is a thing. Some of you Americans, black Americans that's in the hood that think you don't know, you don't even realize you may be a descendant of the black nobility, or a descendant of one of these fallen angels, or a descendant of, you can't be a descendant of the fallen angels without being a descendant of the dragon riders, which is the higher dimension of where Yeshua was from. Some of you are descendants of that. Some of you are descendants of the Atlanteans, Pleiadians, Lumerians. You got a bunch of stuff. It's a thing. And so these things happen. So you look around and you see, like, how did melanated people go so far? And Why is the state of the planet the way it looks? Like, why is our water polluted? Why is our oceans polluted? You have your answers. Low governing force infiltration of interdimensional beings that have taken esoteric knowledge from our dimension, twisted and botched it, hid it on purpose, switched the laws up, try to reverse everything on this dimension because it was a planet of free will. And you would think like you give them that they had this kind of knowledge, they have this type of wherewithal, they wouldn't engage in that because they know some things that you guys don't know in terms of being transcendent. But if you engage in too much of a low frequency, it's hard to build up enough electrons to leave this earth. And so they got a lot of you humans trapped down here. And so you need a certain amount of electrons, a certain amount of energy, a certain amount of melanin to shoot you up out of here. And so these interdimensional beings do not have that anymore. And so that's why things just start collapsing. That's why you see the matrix collapsing. That's why you see things falling apart, or things not making sense. And it's like everybody can see the shift because it's like it's pretty much the universe is removing that low governing force. It's not about punishing people or sending people to hell, and it's just removing the low governing force frequencies. It's just removing the frequencies, and ushering new frequencies. That's why you see they just reported about 2 weeks ago that there was some sort of signal that traveled 8 billion light years that hit this planet, that hit this universe, that emits like the energy of 30 suns. They just reported that. They're reporting that there's a mystic, weird cosmic signal coming from the galaxy into this planet. And so it's a bunch of stuff going on. Solar flares, you guys know, solar flares. I put a lot of codes out with that solar flare stuff in August, by the way, on my Twitter page, but whatever. It's a lot of shit going on. It's a lot of stuff going on, and so they're trying to. Then you see the chief UFO, the UFO chief of the Pentagon just resigned this week, and before he left, he said, "Look, motherfuckers." I mean, he ain't say it like that, but he told our government. He's like, "Look, there's interdimensional beings playing on our backyard, playing on your top. They've been and they don't. How do I say this? This is above his pay grade. That's why he's resigning, and that's why they're like, get the fuck out of Dodge, because he's like, yo, he discovered some stuff, and he's like, yo, this ain't right. Like, the thing is, they've always been here. So it's pretty much just like, you ain't telling like you think you making this announcement because they trying to figure out a way to tell you guys. And so, it's not a. I don't want to talk too much. I'm not under like no clearances or nothing like that, or no oaths or nothing. So I'm just a priestess that is very gifted spiritually, that can see shit in multiple dimensions. That's all. I'm a prophet. And for those who know, they know. But other than that, I'll keep that part of my identity hidden for now. And so he thinking he dropping a bomb. He thinking he dropping, and this all could be a play. But he's like, the chief of the Pentagon. He's like, I gotta, I'm resigning, and I'm letting you know that either it's foreign powers that's literally all in our backyard, like these unidentified objects or foreign objects, or it's interdimensional beings. And he's saying they've been in our backyard, like just playing on our top. Like, we can't identify them, we can't control them, we can't monitor them, And they trying to sweep it under the rug, but it's kind of like he thinking he dropping some information, and it's like, dude, we already. It's kind of like, what do you think the shit is ran by? What do you think the system is ran by? And so, it's just a way to kind of ease humans into the consciousness, what Sun Ra was trying to do 70 years ago. And you see, he was monitored by the CIA his whole life. He tried to put all the information out in his movie, The Joyful Noise, Space is the Place. He literally gave out so much codes through his music. It's not even funny. He sang with Michael Jackson. And just everything just goes over everybody's head. But Sun Ra told you. He told you, I'm an angel from Saturn. I'm an interdimensional being from Saturn. I'm not a human. And he was trying to tell you guys, like, here, this is what they doing. Da, 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 da. You gotta wake up. Humanity. You gotta be. And everybody just thought he was just singing some songs and a quack on. They thought he was, I guess, one of them. I showed Sons Ra music to a old colleague, not an old colleague, but an old like friend, and she was like, "That nigga doing drugs." He cracked out, and I was like, "Damn, that's how far along people are." And so he tried to tell you guys, but pretty much it's like they made like the UFO community sound like quacks and just crazy and not to be taken serious in science and whatnot. And so NASA actually just came out this week saying that they're trying to turn the public opinion around, and like they're going to be doing some social engineering to get you guys, humanity, to take this more serious, because it's like they started the Air Force started the Space Force in 2019. Then you had COVID stuff. I mean, come on, wake up. This is why this stuff is happening, because they're trying to. How do we spill the beans? How do we tell them? My thing is, it was never supposed to be a secret. This is the thing, humanity. It was never. You was always supposed to know. You were always supposed to know. You were never supposed. This was never supposed to be a secret. At one point, it was not a secret. Look at the Egyptian hieroglyphics when they show you head of Anubis, the dog jackal head and they show you the ibis head of Toph on a body and a cat's head segment. they put it right there, and then they put the pharaohs in charge because they were mixing with humans, yeah. And these pharaohs always honored, they had this high level information, right? And the pharaohs always honored these gods, particularly the divine feminine. It was always kind of matriarchal at the highest level, not the whole Egyptian civilization, but certainly the pharaohs got their teachings and their credence from the female gods, the Seshets, the Osets, the Sekhmet, and all that stuff. And so, I'm just gonna clue you in on something, because I actually want to do another video on this, and I'm just gonna actually separate both of these clips, because this is very important information right here. Why are the teachings of the royal classes throughout all these continents similar? From the royal bloodline, the Brahmin class in India, from the royal Jewish class, the royal Jew class in Ethiopia and Africa, and some parts of West Africa as well. The royal bloodlines of Africa with their Ifa system. Royal bloodlines of America. The royal bloodlines of Egypt. The royal bloodlines, I should say, because Egypt is in Africa, but the royal bloodlines of West Africa, what should I say? Why are these teachings so similar? Why is Psalms 23, which was a Jew teaching, the same codes that is in some of the Egyptian teaching? Literally the same codes. Literally. And we talk about the King David, but he had sibyls writing that for him, because you always had queen mothers. You always had a team of high-level priestesses doing things for the kings. That's just common sense. That was just always something that melanated people did. You always had a whole what you guys would call coven, but you always had like a whole group of queen mothers guarding the king, doing all types of her little divine feminine. I'll just say her divine feminine tools, her intergalactic mentalisms from the Sybil class, from the oracles. They were always doing things. And so the book of Psalms was written by, many of those verses was written by females. For King David, I'm not saying he didn't write none, because they were dealing with another society coming at him at the time. So King David was really going through a lot of spiritual warfare, a lot of spiritual shit, because these kings were occultists. Let's just be real. They understood some things, and that's why you see David always pleading for things with his soul and things with, oh, my soul, because he was dealing with interdimensional beings that was trying to feed off of his soul. Real shit. And King Solomon came through with the banger and just was taking control over the jinns, over the entities, over the egregores through his intergalactic mentalism that's in the Kabbalah. And guess what? They were doing this in Egypt as well. The pharaohs had the same knowledge of how to control this simulation, because they were a part of the bloodline of the interdimensional beings. They are connected. That is why all of the royal bloodlines have similar teachings, even though they may have divergence, because the thing is, they were given credence as, because they're the descendants of the interdimensional beings, right? That came down here. And by proxy of the higher realms. So you have to choose your side, which one you're going to rock with. And so those royal bloodlines, they were given credence to create IPUs, which are ideal parallel universes. Based on, they were kings and queens. They could do whatever they want over the commoners. I'm just keeping a buck. But though they were given clearance to create an IPU, that is why the teachings of India looks different. Even though at the top levels, this is pretty much the same shit. But that's why you see it look different than, say, the teachings of Egypt, or the teachings of West Africa, or the teachings of Americas. You see very similar stuff. That's why you see pyramids everywhere. You see the same science of Atlantean the original Atlantean Freemasonry. You see it everywhere. It's because they were given clearance to create IPUs, ideal parallel universes, while abiding to universal law, abiding by the laws of the universe. And what was the charge? To teach that intergalactic mentalism. The same thing, the big dog. That's why everybody's scared of Tahuti. He'll be touching down. They thought it's getting real. It's gonna get very real. But the same teachings that he's the big dog that was saying, like, this is what you must do, and that's why all of the teachings are very similar. That's why you see the same type of pyramids everywhere. That's why you see the same type of, and through these different religions and through these different esoteric schools of thoughts, because they were of the royal bloodline class that have connections to the interdimensional beings that were ruling over you. Now, this is not the same as what's ruling now. Those are the descendants of the interdimensional beings that was created. These are the homunculus that was created by the interdimensional beings that still have more power than humans. But they are not the ones that are connected to the primordial mother. They were created as homunculus by the fallen angels. And they are even lower governance force than them. So they are not real gods. They tell you they're gods, and they have you sacrificing and doing all types of crazy shit. And low-level blood magic and all this weird shit to get energy. And you don't have to do that. And so that's what you see now. That is what's going out, because it's like, no, the ancient ones are back. The real ancient ones, like the Tooties, like I'm telling you, Osiris visited me last night and was like, mother, like showing me this graph, like, this is where we go, this is the plans of the, like an adjutant. And I'm just looking like, okay. Because the primordial mother, she keeps a very silent, very mysterious, quiet. She doesn't really get involved in a lot of this shit. She it's the ultimate intelligence that creates these egregores, the other gods, the other religions, this intergalactic mentalism. It can change at will, by the way. So in other dimensions, that's why other dimensions look different. That's why you have planets that are gas based, and you have all these different. It's a high level transducer mixed with a computer, but it's the energy that wants to love ultimately. That wants ultimate self-awareness, consciousness, and enlightenment for all species. Loves the innovation, love invention, and but again, when you got adjutants and egregores and you have other gods, those are the gods. If they have duality and they understand justice and they understand war, and they understand, and they're very protective of that primordial mother, and they're very protective of the energy of the universal law. Then, when a dimension is not abiding by that universal law and experiencing too much low governing force, an invasion will happen. They will do the job for the primordial mother. Sometimes they want to get permission from things. Sometimes they want to, hey, mother, is this da 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 da? And so that you see that carrying on too. And so that is, again, if you guys wanted to know, like, well, why is the teachings of the Kabbalah, if you really were to study the intergalactic mentalism in that Bible, particularly with the King David, King Solomon, and then you run a parallel between Egypt pantheon. You run a parallel between India pantheon with the Vedanta. The Advaita Vedanta. Some of the stuff in the Rig Veda, some of the stuff in the Upanishads. You keep seeing these similarities. This is because it was a royal bloodline class that have priestesses, oracles, that write a lot of this stuff out, and males too, and male priests, that was writing with the royal class though. And they were descendants of interdimensional beings, of the dragon riders, of the primordial mother. By proxy, some of them have connections to the fallen angels. Some of them did fall into that bullshit, particularly West Africa. That melanated man started making them deals with the low level, what we call, they see them as high level, but we see the low level interdimensional beings, some of the fallen angels and the homunculus of the fallen angels. And so that's why melanated people fell so low, because they started making them deals. That's why you don't have another King David and another King Solomon. And believe it or not, King Solomon, he's misunderstood, and granted, he was a very powerful occultist, very much protected by God, very much loved by God. Everybody, you might have your disagreements. Well, he was doing this, he was getting involved with other stuff, and he was getting involved. That's very common. Yeshua was doing the same thing. That's another thing y'all. There is research that Yeshua was in India studying. What you call Jesus, studying. What do you think his mystery, his long lost years? What he was doing? He was in Egypt, traveling in India, and he was studying from the royal blood priesthood. That's what he was doing, studying all of the things from the royal bloodline. When they keep saying, "Oh, he was a carpenter," that's a code. Jesus was a carpenter. His father was. They're codes. He was an interdimensional being. Now sitting down here, he's been given, trying to catch you guys up, telling you that the kingdom of God is at hand. The kingdom of God is within. Many of you see what was the parable of the vineyard. I mean, he's really something else too. And that's what they say. Him and Tahuti. He was like, is him and Tahuti the same person? They're related. That's why. And a lot of stuff got mixed up with the Council of Nicaea, with the Roman Emperor Constantine. Roman Emperor Constantine, again, part of a powerful secret society that is related to the interdimensional beings, decided to exploit Christianity, the teachings of Yeshua, and mix it with Satanism. Yes. That is why you see the botched version of the Bible, and 45 books removed from the Bible. So yeah, that is. I know that's some heavy shit. I mean, this only going up on Nocti Church and Higher Yourself. You only find this stuff here. I am going to be breaking down a lot of this stuff, but guess what? We all know things are playing out. Prophecies are playing out. Things are being revealed. Age of exposure. Primordial Mother is running through this bitch like a tornado, like an earthquake, tornado, hurricane. That's why in California, oh my gosh, I wish I was about to start speaking in tongues, because I know what the hell that was about. There was a hurricane, tornado, and earthquake mixed in one in California. She was sending a message, and she actually told me that was going on. She was like, and I'm looking like, how the hell? I was wondering, like, how you going to do that? And less than a week later, not even less than a week, the shit happened like less than two days after, the idea was formulated. And so it's just done because, again, we're moving low governance force from the universe, and there are going to be a split of silos of consciousness on this universe. And whatever happens once that split takes place, there's going to be a couple of splits. It's not just 3D, 5D split, by the way. And whatever happens as a result of that split to that energy that can't get up there to the other energies, we're pretty much okay with whatever happens. So there is going to be a segment. Humanity has to make a choice, but you're going to see, even in making that choice and going off into these silos of consciousness and IPUs, you're going to see some people self-destruct. You're going to see others ascend considerably in consciousness, and you're going to see others live their dreams and want to work together, want to honor the divine feminine, want to work together as a community, want to get back in tune with nature, want to, grow their own food, want to get, and then you're going to see others just go, and you're going to see other people kind of shift as craftsmen, as builders, as architects, they're going to be seeing how they can use elements of technology, spiritual technologies, repository intelligence with the new earth, with combining like how do we make our life easier while still abiding by universal law and protecting this planet, protecting nature, protecting these animals. How does that look? And so you're going to see some of us builders be able to do that for you. And it's not going to be easy because we don't have the backing of the system. We don't get funded. We don't get invested. We're just brilliant geniuses that have been locked out because we won't play ball. It's as simple as that. But Primordial Mother has something for that too. And so you're going to see the what they say, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So we really don't have nothing to worry about. Nobody has anything to worry about that's on the side of righteousness and on the side of justice and on the side of love. And want to just, and everything is not about love, 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 love. There is elements of justice. Okay, there are elements of pleasure. Pleasure is absolutely okay in this dimension. Okay, but I follow the middle path. I follow the balanced way. You know, you're not gonna put me on one. I'm not a shadow worker. I'm not a light worker. But I believe in keeping a certain set of frequency on this planet that allows for everyone to thrive. That allows for myself to thrive. That allows for myself to ascend. Because I can get out this bitch. I'm like a walking light generator. The limit. I don't even want to tell because I'm pretty much those in the know. They know what I can do and who I am and what I have, and it's still not all revealed. Only like 10% has been revealed. But you know, I focus on my own divinity, and so what I would tell humanity: focus on your own divinity and self-awareness. Self-awareness is key. Balance and harmony is key during these days. The more self-aware you are, the more ability you have to see when you're being deceived, to see when things are low governing force, to see when things are not in your best interest, and also the more self-awareness you have, you are less distracted by things that keep you away from your divinity and your manifestations and your blessings. And so that's what I want to leave you with. I wanted to give you some context of of why the planet fell so low in consciousness. Oh, I also want to say this. Look at your power lines. And I know that this is strange to you guys, but especially if you're in the hood. Look at your power lines. That is the biggest indicator that something is wrong. Look how that shit look. Look how raggedy that look. And I'm speaking as somebody from... I'm saying I'm an old soul. I'll just say that. I'm an ancient one. I'm an old soul. I'm an ancient one. I'm interdimensional. I've seen things, and through my awakening, I know things of my past life. I know stuff of the future too. But that shit, the way that stuff is all lined up, them power lines, that's your biggest indicator that something's not right. Why? Because pyramids are electromagnetic generators. You can generate electricity from a pyramid. And so, at certain dimensions, we literally have black tourmaline pyramids that are big as hell, that look very beautiful, by the way. We design them with like gold and copper and different types of gold and gems inside of them, outside of black tourmaline, kind of like an Orgon pyramid, but just big, giant. Just imagine like the Sphinx or the Giza pyramid being a big ass black tourmaline pyramid mixed with like shungite, mixed with copper and gold and shit. And we align that a certain way with not even just with the universe, but with the fucking galaxy. We generate energy from the middle of the galaxy, by the way. And that stuff is giving everybody electricity from like whole countries. You only need like one of them bitches. You don't need a bunch of wires looking all crazy in the hood, like Chicago. And I'm looking at LA. I'm like, I was just Googling one day. I'm like, it's because I'm thinking I'm tripping. I'm like, I don't remember Atlanta having like everywhere, just all these crazy looking wires everywhere. They're supposed to be powering, it's giving you your electricity. And I'm looking like, yo, that shit look raggedy as hell. You know, coming from just seeing other things. And even just one originally on planet Earth. Look at the Pyramid Giza. These were look at the things that with the Orgon technology that was originally on this planet. What Nikola Tesla was talking about. and what he was trying to do. And you see what they did, he was trying to give everybody, just do free energy, everybody. I found a way. He found a way because it was already here. So he just remembered from his past life of how to do those things. And so they buried all of that. So ask yourself why. But that is the biggest indicator. And you don't even have to just use tourmaline. You can use other conductors, Look at the pyramids, it was just limestone. You have limestone. But you can generate electricity from a fucking flip-flop in a... I literally seen an African kid take like a battery and a flip-flop and a wire and made like... and he had like a old filament, like not a filament, but like an old little glass to make some fucking light, electricity. It's very easy. And you guys know we did that as a kid in science class in like 3rd grade. So let's not act like we didn't do that experiment. And so look at them damn power lines, and that's how you know that the beings that's telling you that they running this shit, they're not the real deal. Somebody lying around this bitch. They wouldn't have your shit looking like that. And then they talking about, these Luciferian brotherhoods and these, the system ran by Lucifer and all that. I'm like, Lucifer didn't have this shit running around looking like this. Either that or he fell considerably in consciousness because of the shit that he was getting involved in. But I'm like, or she, whatever. But there's 2 of those entities, but whatever. But I'm like, if you said telling me that these power lines all throughout America is looking the way they look, and that this is supposed to be ran by the one that brings enlightenment, the light bearer, you gotta be out of your fucking mind. You never convinced me of that. When I could see a pyramid, or when I know in other dimensions they got big ass tourmaline, malachite, all types of beautiful stuff, beautiful material that's not even found here. They got shit that's levitating up in the fucking. It's nothing. They got stuff that's levitating in the sky. That's real pretty to look at. It generates rainbows and shit and then it's like that you walk past and you getting electricity. You're getting and I mean it's a benefit because it's like it's giving off this beautiful energy too, a protective energy. You're working with jade and tourmaline and all this stuff in different dimensions. So I know something ain't right. Looking at this, all these wires all over the place and all that. I know something ain't right. You ain't about to tell me, the light bearer told y'all that was. I'm like, oh no. Either he fell in consciousness, or it's a homunculus that the fallen angels created that's telling you that they the light bearer. That's what you humans need to wake up and realize. And that was the biggest giveaway. That was the biggest giveaway for my ass. I said, no. And then look at the state of the news and the consciousness. Look at y'all music. You ain't about to tell me that that's about some damn enlightenment or some light. Nah. I'm telling you, everybody been bamboozled on whatever side you want. Whatever side you want. But there's truth. And the truth needs no motherfucking proof. And the truth will always stand. You can't bury the truth. You can't do nothing. And any nation that denies the truth will fall. Any system that denies the truth will fall. You can't just bury your head. Oh, you realize you made a mistake. You realize y'all fucked up and you misinterpreted all of my knowledge, all of our knowledge, and you misinterpret these books and you got into some fuckery. Whether you were an interdimensional being or not, or whether you're the human that fell for the okie doke, what these entities were telling your ass to do when you were running this system. I'm just keeping it a buck. And, people want to play on my topic, get me out the paint. And it's like, my name is Kali for a reason. Okay. And so, that's some quantum entanglement for your ass, for those who catch it. I said what I said, and humanity, you got bright days ahead of you. Some of you. Depends on which route you want to take. This is a consciousness war. This is a frequency war. So, those who that want to ascend into that love consciousness, that love vibration, it's going to be real light. It's going to be real light. The magic going to get light. All this stuff y'all doing with the all this low level shit that you really won't have to do much physical stuff. You're going to do a lot of things through not even Hecka, believe it or not. Everything is going to be intergalactic mentalism. It's going to be real cool. And so we'll be teaching these things, we'll be revealing some things. Heck, is still going to be very important, by the way. Do not think that it won't be. But again, be moving in, niggas going to be telepathic. It's the people was already telepathic, by the way. But it's going to be more, you know. And you're not going to have to do all this crazy stuff to get these gifts. It's going to be based on raising your frequency. That's all. You're going to see motherfuckers levitating. And they ain't got to go to no secret society. They ain't got to go join and sacrifice their family member, do all this, and get all these gifts or get all this knowledge, or go join some weird shit order in India somewhere and get and eat shit and feces and all. You ain't got to have to do all that. It's going to be about just raise your fucking frequency. It's going to be real simple. Raise your fucking vibration. You get up there to 1,000 hertz and past that, you get past 1,000 hertz and all that stuff. Oh, you're going to see. You're going to be levitating. And even if not, you'll be astral projecting. You probably, some of you will be and even if, you know, some of us, we're working on like eating healthier and getting a light body and all this stuff. But even if not, you'll still see you activate in ways that you never thought possible. And we ain't telling you go and do this to go activate your DNA. Just raise your motherfucking vibration and maintain it. And if you have them days where you're gonna feel like, you know, a little depression, a little fear, a little worry, you know, anxiety, that's fine. Ain't nobody, these are normal tendencies. Things fluctuate in an emotional body. But that self-awareness is going to allow you to see, okay, what do I need to do to fix this? Why am I feeling this way? You're going to do that reflexivity. You're going to, in real time, communicate with your prime conscious mind through the conscious mind. You're going to say, well, what am I feeding myself? And am I looking at something what am I tuned into? What's the frequency I'm tuned into? What's the radio frequency? And then you'll be able to deal with it in real time. Change it very quickly. So you're going to see, like, the moments where you do get sad, or the moments where you do get angry and resentful. You know, you realize, this ain't really serving me. I don't like the way it's making me feel. I was just literally producing DMT on a level that made me feel high just 2 days ago. I'm like, your brain could produce more DMT, by the way. Not just life and, what they say, you get it during birth and you get it during death. No, you can produce DMT when you want at will to give you, like, spiritual Novocaine and make you feel high throughout the motherfucking day. Just through love. Just through a love frequency. And you're going to see many of you get up there and you're going to be like, oh. And you're going to be chilling, watching little shows, and you're going to just be having a floodgate of spiritual Novocaine just running through your body, a current of light. And then the next, you know, maybe you'll feel like, okay, why don't I feel that anymore? And that self-awareness is going to allow you to get back up there. You know, because I have my days, you know, and like once you become aware, you know, you'll realize, you know, the things you need to do. And so with that, I'll end that. I talked considerably. I just woke up just like after that visit by Osiris, and I'm still trying to figure out, like, you know, you know, and one of them niggas, you know, I got a little bit of edge in me. But he visited me. One of the niggas I be getting in. I know he probably like, you better not tell my name. But he visited me as well. I'm gonna just give you some information because, like, a lot of people think he just. I mean, they know, you know, they think he, you know. I didn't know this nigga was that. I knew he was brilliant, but like, I'm like, he really like dropped off some information. He was like, honey, because, you know, I've been dealing with stuff with my pineal gland and trying to manage all this during prime conscious sleep. It's like an antenna. So he came and and I didn't know nothing about the antenna stuff. I figured more of like computer based. So he literally came to me in a dream and was like, honey, your brain is an antenna. It's a transducer. And the choroid, he literally said, but he used the Greek etymology for choroid, which is, let me get that Greek etymology, chorion. He said the chorion, which is a protector, but he was talking about it in a metaphysical sense. But the actual choroid it does actually play a very important role in helping to maintain the delicate extracellular environment required by the brain to function. So, it regulates the production and composition of your cerebrospinal fluid. So it's a protective buoyancy for the brain. Now, he literally told me this in a fucking dream. He's like, it protects, but in the spiritual sense, he was saying that chorion protects the pineal gland from all of the psychic slug, because he's like, he came to me in dreams like, I know you're dealing with a psychic slug, and he said, I told you, you guys are like, oh, I want to open my pineal gland, and this is like, and he just was literally talking, just telling me this shit, and he was then he mentioned yes, the antenna. So I'm looking at this stuff. I do some research, and I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about an antenna for? And I go and do the research, and I'm like, there's a bidirectional transducers which convert physical phenomena to electrical phenomena, and check this out, the transceiver of the brain, if you look at the brain as a transducer, also allows you to communicate with the wireless communications and network device communications. And so a transducer is a device that converts energy from one form to another. That's what your brain does. Now, he gave this shit to me in a dream literally 2 days ago. He visited me. The nigga that I always be going off on every couple of months because too much brain entrainment, too much psychic phenomenon shit takes place, and then I go off on his ass. But he literally came and gave me that information. I was like, that was so fucking genius. And so I'm studying it more and trying to understand about the choroid plexus. But that's I want to do another video on that to break that down. For those of us you humans, I'm telling you, guys are going to wake up and you guys are going to literally have these awakenings. And people are going, and you're going to be seeing past life stuff. You're going to be seeing who's an agent in your life. You're going to be seeing, you're going to be telepathic. You're going to just have this floodgate of consciousness stream your motherfucking brain, because your pineal gland just going like, bah! It's going to just split open. You're not going to be having a duty like these Kundalini meditations on it. It's just going to happen, just like it happened to me. And you're going to have to be prepared for that, or else you're going to be like how some people on the internet, you thinking they crazy, they really a genius, like Kanye West and all them. And they really a damn genius. They pineal gland is just the transducer. The antennas is getting too much signal, and that's what he was telling me. Like you're getting too much, and you got to balance all that with image management. With image management just means don't go all out on the internet talking just because people gonna think you're crazy. Don't say certain things, even if it's the truth. Don't say certain things. Don't go all out. You gotta be aware, self-aware. And so I'm going to do a video on that transducer, choroid plexus stuff, because I did get some more downloads on like how to manage the pineal gland during sleep, how to manage the pineal gland during the awakened state as well. And that's pretty much what he was trying to get me to understand. Like, you wanted your pineal gland, you got your awakening, and can you handle it? And so that's what we're at. That's where we're at. And so I'll leave you guys with that. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.